my channel. I'm so excited to have you here. So today I'm going to be reading your all's MLM horror stories. If you have sent me an MLM horror story or you want to send me an MLM horror story, make sure to send it to this new email I made almost a month ago, and then I'll be able to filter through the horror stories a little bit better since I have now a dedicated horror stories email. Let's get straight into it. The first one, I took a little sneak peek and it says a concerned friend. So it comes with a 50-second clip of a team call with it, which I find very interesting because I clicked on the clip and I was like, ooh, no. I listened to the first 5 seconds and I was like, I just need to do this all on camera. So the first story says, "Hey Deanna, I wanted to start off by saying that your channel is amazing and I am basically addicted to the anti-MLM channels and the amazing work you are all doing to help the world. I'd like to remain anonymous, please, and if you could possibly blur the names and faces in the attached video. I have not joined an MLM personally, but almost have a few times. Beachbody, Premier Jewelry, and 31. I always had a bad feeling, but the distributors were always friends / family's friends, so I purchased products to support their business. After finding the anti-MLM movement, shout out to the queen, Kiki Chanel, I have solidly decided to not support these predatory companies in any way. I'm writing today though to share a video that really hammers home the idea that I've heard time and time again in your videos. MLMs and Beachbody in particular play on vulnerable populations in order to make recruiting easier. I was clicking through my Instagram stories and noticed the caption on the video I attached. This woman is a Beachbody coach I used to work with. She started a few years ago and quit her job after a couple years of Beachbody. To be fair, she was in a terrible place in a few areas of her life when she started, and I think she's tapping into those emotions when she posted this. I know her heart and genuinely don't think she's trying to manipulate others, that I cannot see something like this and not send it to someone that can amplify the consequences of posts like this, even if unintentionally. I reached out to her in her DMs to check in and try to make sure she sees the hard work she did to better her situation was hers and not because of Beachbody. I'm sending this about a week after my message and she hasn't replied yet. I really hope I didn't push too much and I'm hoping that I planted the seed. Thank you again for all you have done and continue to do. If you have any tips for helping me reach out to my friend without scaring her or seeming like I'm shaming her, I'd really appreciate it. Best, a concerned friend." So let's watch this video and let's react. By the way, it's a video on a team call too.
Let me also say this is I truly believe it to be successful in this business, you need to come into it broken. And I think that's where all of us are when we come in. Whether it's we hate our jobs or we're unhappy with our lives, we're unhappy with our bodies, our communities, or have gone through some sort of trauma, we come into this broken and we find community and sisterhood and positive energy and mindset and like all this beautiful, just everything, energy from it. It heals us and you can't help but want to share that, right? And
so I've got my blanket for this one. I would say a lot of people go into an MLM broken or in a bad spot or in a spot where they want more and want a better job or they want a different career. They don't know what to do with their life. They don't have community and it comes from a place of wanting more, and it's sad. It's sad that the person talking about this was probably one of those people. She was probably one of those people that were broken before she joined the MLM, no matter in what way, you know, maybe was struggling mentally, physically, financially, whatever it may be. So she joins and then does what I talk about all the time, where if you join and you were vulnerable before you came in and you came in because of your vulnerabilities, like say you have anxiety and depression and someone told you that, oh, by working out and joining Beachbody, we can cure that. And then you come in and find yourself to be more positive and not be struggling with anxiety as much. You're going to say, oh, well, this MLM did this for me. So now let me find other people who are struggling with this because I know it can help them. So when I see this, I see someone that truly believes that this is going to help them or has helped them and that it is going to help other broken people, when in actuality, it normally doesn't. I don't even know, I don't know what to say about this because she is reaching, right? She's trying to reach broken people, which are vulnerable people, people in spots that shouldn't be taken advantage of. And that's what it seems like they're going for. And it's sad that everyone on this call, or the person who was filming the Zoom, isn't the person that was talking, but she was quoting everything like, yes, yes. And she put up like emojis and stuff. I probably blurred that part, but she was putting up like things that said, yes, yes. And like quoting her, like, this is some amazing thing. It's not an amazing thing that we see time and time again. A lot of people who join MLMs are broken people or people who struggle or are struggling. It's not like this cool thing that we should be proud of to see. We should be questioning why. Why do people who are broken continue to join these MLM? And then when they do start feeling better, they attribute feeling better to their MLM fixed them. Oh, I don't even know what to say. This person did ask for any tips. I would love if everyone would comment down below, or anyone if you want to. Comment down below with tips to help reach this friend, because I don't know. I would maybe try and ask her, like, why do you feel that people who join are broken? Like, that's the question to ask. Why is it that everyone who, not everyone, I hate generalizing, but a lot of people who join an MLM, why are they broken? And why are people, most people that are in really great places aren't the ones to join MLMs or be reached out to, right? People who are doing really well a lot of the times aren't the ones that MLM reps reach out to. They reach out to those vulnerable people. That's so sad. Okay, I talked too long for that one, so let's go into the next one. This one says, Hunbot friend uses lies and COVID to boost Beachbody engagement. Hi Deanna, I recently found your channel and the anti-MLM content in general, and it has taught me so much. Please note that this story may need trigger warnings for ED, anxiety, depression. I have been an MLM rep myself, but late last year I ended a friendship with a girl who has been a Beachbody coach for 6+ years. I didn't really know anything about what Beachbody was like until this year. When I made friends with her, I was in a very vulnerable spot. I had PTSD and anxiety, and once I started going to counseling and growing a lot, I started to notice things were off. At first, I overlooked the frilly social media posts with all the positivity and hashtags about how strong she was for overcoming poor body image and more by working out, all while she was telling me in private that she was still depressed and anxious all the time. I just started being really cautious when she told me a major trauma of hers, and then she just swept it under the rug with toxic positivity when I asked if she ever got support from her family or friends or a counselor or anything. And I tried to offer empathy. She couldn't ever just say she's not okay without spinning it into some inspiring story for social media. I keep picking up on things like this that told me she was not the authentic person she always claimed to be, especially online. But I felt like she had been through a lot, and maybe she wasn't ready to be forthcoming about deeply personal things. Everything came to a head when she caught COVID. She was hanging out with different friends at least every weekend and privately told me she thought she got it from some of them. I told her I hope she felt better soon and to let me know if she needed anything dropped off at her house, especially since she wasn't allowed to go out. Everything was fine until she put a picture of herself on socials with a long post about how much it sucked to catch it, but she doesn't really go out of the house except on hikes. So I messaged her privately to ask if there was a different reason the information she shared was different than what she told me. She got very mad at me for attacking her character. I told her I was bringing it up in the hopes that we could talk it out, since the differences between what she said privately and publicly had been adding up and harming trust between us. And I wanted to give her the chance to share her perspective. She told me I was a bad friend and it was all in my head. She wanted me to think about how weird my reaction to her post was and that I was putting my trust trauma on her. It was a lot of gaslighting. The funny thing is, deep down, she must have known I was right and that the post actually was dishonest, because she told me nothing was wrong with it and then went back and edited it. Later, she messaged me and said, people get upset sometimes and get a little spicy in their response, and that happened to me with you. So I apologize for that. Forgive me. Does that sound like a real apology to you? She wanted to be done talking for the day, so we said goodnight. Then the next morning, without me saying anything, she continued to tell me how wrong and manipulative I was for bringing it up, and by the end of our talk, I was seeing all her toxicity in full force and let her know I wasn't okay with it. I was mad and named all the specific examples of why I didn't trust her, like the lying and gaslighting. She blocked me and then made several posts over the next couple weeks about how mean I was without using my name, thankfully, and how you should basically just ignore the haters who lie about you. Typical. Gotta be inspirational for the followers, right? So because I only told 3 people in my life what happened instead of my whole friends list like she did, I watched people, including a mutual friend, comment on her post and say what a miserable person I must be without knowing any of the real details or who it was about. She never blocked or even unfriended my husband, so I saw it all through his profile. Since then, I have been learning all about MLMs and Beachbody specifically, mostly from you and Megan Marie. Now I can see so much more of why I felt in my gut that she was dishonest, saying she started a business with her friend and that she had 5 spots available, passing off Beachbody quotes and jargon as her own original thoughts, like slogans from her workouts or shirts or posts from top coaches, faking results by flexing or posing, weight cycling every 1 to 6 months and plugging ridiculously unhealthy cleanses while saying she doesn't diet and posting about nutrition that she's not certified for and does not want to go to school for. Yes, I asked her once, and this is my uncertified opinion. The toxic positivity and telling people it's their fault if they don't get results because they just need more discipline and less excuses, even though she has said her workouts have made her almost puke and cry. If you're begging for rest, you're not training your best. Hashtag tough love, hashtag keep it real. The hashtags about mental health to get more engagement, even on posts that don't mention mental health at all. For the problematic hashtags in general, strong, not skinny, depression recovery, she actually had the nerve to talk about one of our friends having EDs and acted like it was oh so pitiful because she had been there but was all above it now. Come to find out, the eating plans she is doing for Beachbody are still super restrictive and promote things that still rid your body of all the bad food by pooping it out so you can break the cycle of bad eating habits. Hello diet culture. And the timelines being off for her post, she was confirmed to have COVID on November 4th of last year. In a post on November 29th, she claimed to be back to normal from and back to working out. In the photos, she appeared to be as muscular as she was before getting sick. On December 10th, she posted about her 3-day cleanse because she suddenly needed to shed unwanted fat from being bedridden most of the Rona recovery. Goodbye muscle photo. December 13th, she posted a photo of her that I swear I've seen from a long time ago with abs again. Preached about consistency with workouts and nutrition. January 4th, she shared a new before photo and said she was currently at the highest weight of her life and felt like a hippo tugboat. Oh no. She blamed her metabolism now that she's 30, said 9-week control freak was the perfect program title for what she needed to dial in her nutrition, and then said she wouldn't shame herself from gaining weight. Maybe don't call yourself a hippo then. February 26th, she shared full before and after photos and went from blaming her metabolism to blaming again. I gained all of this weight back and it was a side effect of COVID because I wasn't eating that bad. I was exercising and still looked like that. Stop focusing on the scale. Everyone has a different timeline, so you don't say a program doesn't work. It works if you do. By the way, when I'm saying like the pandemic word, like COVID, I will sometimes blur that word out because if you say it too much, YouTube will like demonetize people's YouTube videos. So someone had asked me in a previous video, oh, every time you say that word, it's like blurred out. I do that because I don't want like my video to be demonetized, or worse than that, my video be taken down when clearly my video has nothing to do with that situation, but it's just mentioned in people's stories. It's just so frustrating and sad that people praise her for all of this when she actually needs help and doesn't get it because she won't tell anyone the truth and has to be inspiring. But the reality is that she's struggling so much behind closed doors while selling the dream on socials. I really wish she'd see a counselor for healing that lasts longer than any of her great results do. Instead of continuing to lie and ignore what's really going on, it sucks because I like the person she was underneath the lies. I always wondered why her posts seem off to me. Because of you and Megan, not only do I now know she was lying more than I even realized, but I no longer feel crazy for thinking something was off or like I'm a bad person for trying to talk to her about it. Thank you so much for sharing some of the information that is helping me learn to trust my intuition. And a message to the audience. As someone with PTSD, anxiety, and associate's degree in psych so far, there are some things for which diet and exercise are just not the complete answer. If you think you might be struggling with an ED or mental health concerns, there's absolutely no shame in asking a certified counselor for help. There are some things that we are just not meant to carry alone. By the way, you can use my first name. If she ever sees this, she will know it's me anyway, because I don't think anyone else ever called her out for all of this. If you want to check out her account, it's blank on Instagram. I trust you to blur her face and name if you use her profile. There's some spicy stuff on there, no pun intended. Wow, so she is right. There are, like, for the ending part, there are some people that can struggle with things like anxiety and stuff and like work out and it helps them, right? It helps them feel better. But a lot of the times you do need to seek help, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with realizing that you need help from a professional, and fake it mentality, like fake it till you make it mentality on social media. Oh, it's like beautiful out. I have my window open and earlier it was like super foggy and so ugly out. The sun is out. Sorry, I just had to mention that because it's looking like really pretty out and green and all cutesies. But yeah, you see it time and time again, like the whole fake it till you make it mentality. And it's social media in general. Social media always shows the highlight reels, but then you do have people who just lie. You have people who are out here just lying. But yeah, trust your intuition. And this is a really good friend. Like, I think she was a really good friend to reach out, because a lot of friends would look at this and be like, oh, she's just a liar, not gonna talk to her, just gonna kick that girl out of my life. Like, a lot of people would. If you're telling your friend something and then the total opposite on social media, they could just cut you out of their life with no questions asked. But this individual did try to reach out to her and talk to her and have a conversation with her, because she knew mentally she was struggling. She would tell her, you know, her friend, then on social media, fake it. And that's the sad thing about it. The sad thing is that these MLMs make these people feel that they always need to be positive, that they need to take every situation in their life and turn it into a positive. And sometimes you can't do that. Sometimes you can't turn everything in your life into a positive right now. Sometimes you have to go through some tough crap, and we all go through tough crap. crap. The tough crap we go through isn't something to just always go on social media about and try and make into this positive thing. It's okay to feel what you're feeling. It's okay to not be okay. And you don't need to always put this facade on social media like you're doing okay when you may not be doing okay. So I want people to always know that I'm like a big advocate for seeking help when you need it and knowing that you don't need to be on social media making everything this positive thing when not everyone's life is always this positive thing. Oh, that was a really sad one. Okay, next horror story. It says, "Hey Deanna, of course I love your channel and that you are a voice for people that can't or don't speak for themselves. Here's a horror story for you that is currently happening. I was able to black out the name in the messages but not the screen record, so if you could block that out when sharing, that would be great. I used to work in corporate America and I had a coworker that worked on a different team. She was super sweet, quiet, and meek. I knew she had been out for a bit because of a tough pregnancy at one point, but really don't know the details. Just office gossip. Anyways, I quit that job and moved to a new hometown type business. About a year after I left corporate America, I received a friend request on Facebook from her. I didn't think much about it because I am involved a lot with my community and I wasn't sure she might be trying to add me because she needs help with something. No messages, no biggie. We have lots of mutual friends and like I said, she was super sweet. She posted a MLM type post, so I messaged her. See attached message screenshot. I even sent her the income disclosure. Anyways, I left it alone. Now a month later, I checked out her stories and see the attached screen record. Can you add the MLM she mentions to your list to talk about? I haven't heard it before, but looks and feels MLM-y. Thank you." Okay, so let's look at these screen record or screenshots. So here's the first one. She goes, "Hey lady, question for you. Are you working for World Ventures?" MLM rep says, "Hey, I'm not. I work with Inteletravel." Inteletravel? You guys know big words aren't my thing. They were one of the first companies to start the home-based travel agent. And then our girl said, "Gotcha, I was screwed over by a network marketing company or MLM a couple years ago and didn't want you to be in the same situation. World Ventures is an MLM. Oh no, I think this might be similar. Please be careful." And then she sent the income disclosure. MLM rep says, "There are definitely some sketchy ones out there, unfortunately. I did a lot of research before joining. There is a MLM part if you choose to work it, but the travel commissions are completely separate from the income disclosures for PlanNet Marketing." Our girl said, "Good. I don't know you personally super well. Just know you're super sweet and that super sweet people like to help and don't want them to get taken advantage of." MLM rep said, "I've been burned from an MLM before and was super cautious before getting it involved. I really appreciate you looking out for me. So let's look this up. You guys know I love that. Inteletravel MLM. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so it's on the website mlmtruth.org, which always talks about different MLMs. And it says, let's put the glasses on for this one. "We have been contacted by some very concerned people who have been involved in Inteletravel. Let's call them blank and blank. They joined Inteletravel because it looked like a great MLM to join. That sounds good. Anyone can join, pay their fee and do a few hours of reading at home. They watch a little bit of video." Okay, looks good, doesn't it? You often come across an MLM that is risk-free. Let's look at their income disclosure. This website has it. PlanNet Marketing. So that's what I'm confused about. Why are there two different like names for it? So it says you can join a different company that has partnered with Inteletravel PlanNet Marketing. With PlanNet Marketing, you can join and pay. You do not need to sell any holidays. Oh, I don't know much about this. But let's look at the income disclosure for this so you can see it bigger. It states the income statistics above are for all active PlanNet IRs who are enrolled during the period of 2020, so January to December 2020. An active IR is defined as a person who enrolls with PlanNet Marketing for $20 initial fee and $20 monthly during the period January 2020 to December 2020. 22.60% of all IRs earn a commission or override, while 77.40% did not. The average annual commission or override earnings of all IRs, including those who did not earn a commission or override, was $907. The average annual commission or override earnings of that group was $2,708. All amounts are represented in US dollars. Okay, so let's look at this. It says the income disclosure statement is reflected, rewarding opportunity as a direct selling company, selling the Inteletravel home-based independent travel agency. So yeah, they're connected. I just need to do more research because they're connected, like as a direct selling company selling the Inteletravel home base. So why did the rep say that the Inteletravel like isn't an MLM, but it says you have to join PlanNet to sell Inteletravel stuff? Weird. So as we can see here, it talks about numbers or whatever, estimated average hours worked per week. I've never seen that in an MLM. Percentage of active IRs, and then annualized average income, and then months active with PlanNet in 2020. So to be a rep, they say you normally spend 2 hours per week. I doubt that, but okay. Most people spend way more than that. And the percent of IRs in that rank was 97.68, so pretty much everyone. And the low earnings were $0. The average earnings were $154. I'm not even gonna look at the high, those are so swayed. And then the other ranks, yeah, the next rank, Gold Builder. Percentage of active people in that rank were 1.89. Low average annual earnings is $300. And then as you keep going, now we're at 0.29%, we're in that rank, 0.6, 0.1, under 0.1. And then in those ranks, I'm not even gonna look at the average amount because it's 0 point something amount of people, not even a whole 1% of people making what it looks like a cool amount of money to make. So yeah, I'm glad that this person did send her like an income disclosure though, because that's like a nice thing to do. And she did it in like a really, really nice way. I'm just curious how these two are connected, you know, like how the Inteletravel and stuff is connected. Okay, so I'm looking at the comments. There are actually comments on this blog post for the MLMtruth.org where someone says, this is great and all, except the Inteletravel is not an MLM. PlanNet Marketing is the MLM that recruits Inteletravel agents. So maybe that's what it is. Like they recruit the actual agents from there, but you can actually be an agent for Inteletravel without like the recruiting aspect of it. I'm just like looking everywhere. Sorry guys. You're on like the research with me. Okay, so I'm gonna have to look into this more guys and I will get back to you because that is kind of interesting. Like I don't understand how they're like connected, but they're not. They're connected, but they're not. I have no clue how that works. So let's move on. Oh no, she sent a screen or she sent a video. Let's watch the video, what she sent. Oh, okay, so she screen recorded the girl's stories. So it says, the MLM rep said residual income, synonyms, passive income, recurring income, and it means money earned long after active work has been completed, income generators when you're no longer on the clock, and freedom. Then they say with extra income each month, question mark, what would you do? Your debt worth is not your net worth. So, okay, if this person is posting about residual income and if you want to earn extra income each month, are you trying to recruit people? Like then you are part of the MLM aspect. Like, what do you mean? That is, okay, that's interesting. I'm gonna have to look that up a little bit more, but let's move on to the next MLM horror story. It is a Monat one and it says, hi Deanna, please keep me anonymous. This is a story about how a Monat hun, who I don't even know, ruined my dreams of a big family. It's not as bad as most people's that I've heard on your channel, but thought that writing out would kind of bring me some closure. I have always wanted a big family. My own one is just my parents, my sister, and me. Grandparents are dead and we don't have any aunts, uncles, and cousins to talk to, so it's just us 4. Always has been. I met my boyfriend 5 years ago and moved in with him and his family shortly after meeting him. His family is huge. He's got 3 sisters, loads of uncles and aunts, cousins and whatnot. I get along so well with everyone and finally had the big family I've always wished for. So I thought. My boyfriend's sister is childhood best friends with a Monat hun who is doing actually quite alright with herself, or for herself. I think she's a market mentor. She's been with Monat since almost the beginning and has obviously got herself quite a big of a downline, which explains the rank, but also means that she clearly knows how the system works and is benefiting off the struggling downline. I've stalked quite a few of her downline, and it's your typical straight out of school or stay-at-home moms. Anyways, I only started learning about MLMs around last autumn, when I started watching your and many other YouTubers' videos and got obsessed. I watched the videos every night and clearly voiced my opinions and tried to educate the rest of his family who I was living with. My partner's sister voiced her concerns to the Monat hun who completely brainwashed her. And from now on, the sister always flew to the Monat hun's defense. And even when I showed her the evidence, she said I don't see the whole picture and how dare I accuse her best friend. I always tried to stay calm and have more of a discussion rather than an argument, but it was more like talking to a brick wall. It's funny because the hun made her buy product once and said to return it after so she could just hit her rank, but never mentioned the return fees, which clearly made the sister upset, but she still refused to believe me. Skip to a few months after, as the Monat hun has known my partner's family since childhood, she and my partner's sister have talked to everyone in his close proximity and convinced them how I'm bad energy and how I like to bring people down, etc. Basically made me out to be the bad guy. Now almost no one from his family talks to me. Before we always hung out and talked 24/7. Or when they do, always superficial. My partner is on my side, but you can tell he's affected by his family's stance towards me. We've always talked about getting married and getting engaged soon, but those talks have significantly decreased since the whole issue with the Monat hun. If I could go back in time, I wish I wouldn't have called the MLMs out just so I could still have my family I dreamed of. Now it's always going to have an icky taste to it, and nothing will ever be as it was prior to the whole spectacle. If you read this far, thank you so much for reading, and keep showing the world what MLMs are really like. I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh. You know, this is why people are scared to say anything. This is why people are scared to talk to their families. Why people are scared to tell their friends. Why people are scared to even go on social media and post anything about MLMs. Like the truth, like literally, here's an income disclosure statement. Will have you treated this way by people. And that's really crappy. Like this person should not be made to feel this way because she had concerns about an MLM. It's like anything else in life with family. You know, family should be people you can go to, right? If you have a sister or a brother or whatever, you should be able to say, hey sis, or hey bro, I feel like what you're doing right now, it doesn't really seem like you, and here's why. And you should be able to have that dialogue to talk to each other. It shouldn't be like with MLMs that you can't have an open discussion where only good things are allowed to be told, and when you don't tell them the things that they want to hear or the good things, you're casted out and treated like this. Like that's so sad. Feel free to like this person, feel free to reach out to me and talk if you need anyone, because I'm so sorry. And she even captioned this, Monat had ruined my family. So I'm gonna end it on that note. Please, if you have any advice for this person, leave it down below. Or if something similar has happened to you with family and friends, leave it down below. Oh, I wish I could just like get into every MLMer's mind that thinks like this, right? Where you can only listen to like the MLM, or if someone doesn't believe in the MLM, you just have to talk bad about them and make everyone go against them. I wish I could go in their minds and just change them, but I can't, unfortunately. If we could only have one wish, to have one superpower, that would be mine, so I could help as many people as I could. Anyways, I hope that you guys have a great and amazing Friday. Don't forget to leave a comment down below, leave a like for your girl, leave a like, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video.